Hello and welcome to Crocheter of Destiny. In today's video we'll be learning the chevron or zigzag pattern. It's very similar to my previous video, which was the wave or ripple pattern, but it's more of a precise up and down pattern. In today's video I'll be using Red Heart Super Saver Day Glow, which is a 4 medium worsted weight yarn and requires an I9 or 5.5mm hook. Let's get started. Okay, you want to start with a slip stitch, so make that X we talked about. And under the front one, over the back one, pull it up to that triangle, and pull the two strands so that you make the knot. Now you'll want to chain, which is yarn over and pull through. You want to chain for the length of your blanket in increments of 22 plus 2. So there will come a point in the pattern where it won't line up with the exact pattern, and that's where your extra chains come in handy. So for this I'm going to do 2 sets of 22 plus 2. So I'm going to do 46 chains. Okay. Okay, now that I have my chain, and you should have yours, we'll start the pattern. So skip your first stitch, and into your second stitch, you're going to do 2 double crochets. So again, you go in under the top one, 2 on the bottom. Double crochet your yarn over, into your stitch, yarn over, pull through. Remember not to make it too tight in the beginning. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through last 2. The second one in the same stitch. Now you're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, the curling here is normal because it's your chain. Even when you get done the whole thing and it's all curly, it's because it's your chain row and there's just so long, and it should even out as you do your second row. You should be able to lay it flat at that point unless you made your stitches too tight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now in the next 3 stitches you're going to do double crochets that become 1 at the top, so a decrease. So you start your double crochet like you normally would, and instead of pulling through those last 2 loops in your hook, you wait and you continue your next double crochet. And again, you wait with 3 on your hook, and do your third one. Now that you have 4 on your hook, you pull through all 4 loops. That's a decrease. You're going to do that one more time. So you're going to do 3 double crochets that decrease into 1. One, 2, 3. Now that you have 4 on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. That is the bottom of your first part. Now you do 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now in the next one, you're going to put 3 double crochets into the same stitch. Then you're going to do that one more time. So the next stitch, 1 double crochet, put a second one in the same stitch, put a third one in the same stitch. There's your first increase. Now you're going to do that one more time. In the next stitch, you're going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now in the next 7 stitches, you're going to do one double crochet in each one. Now, this is the part of your pattern that will repeat until the end, where you won't quite have the room to make a full 7, decrease 7, increase 7. You'll be left with part, and you'll end on an increase to counter where you have your chain and 2 and 1, because that counts as an increase. So there's. Now we're going to keep going until the end of your row. Just did the 7, so now I do another decrease. 2 decreases. Each decrease will be 3 double crochets that turn into 1, and each increase will be 3 double crochets in a single stitch, and each time you will do them twice to mark the severity of your up and down. A second decrease. Now I do the 7 double crochets, Okay. When you've reached the end of your blanket's length, you will be ending on an increase, except depending on the number of chains you made in the beginning, you might end up with one chain left instead of two, so you'll have a partial increase with 3 double crochets in one stitch. So now that you've ended on your increase, or in your case partial increase, you have the up and down of your pattern. So to do your next row, you chain 2, and in the first stitch at the base of your chain 2, you're going to put 2 double crochets. I know that in the first row you skipped a stitch before you did this, but you're not going to do that any longer. You're just going to do it in the first row, and the chain will act as your other part of it. And I know that it looks like it's coming out, but again, that'll pull in. It always does. So in the next 7 stitches, you're going to do 1 double crochet. Now that we've done our 7, we're going to do the decrease. And the decreases are 3 double crochets into 1 double crochet, and you do it twice. There's 1, and there's 2. Then in the next 7 stitches, you do the double crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're at the top, so you do 3 in 1 increases. 3 double crochets into the same stitch. And then you do it once more, 3 double crochets into the same stitch. Now in the next 7 stitches, see it's all curly. It's because it's your beginning. I can lay it out flat, so that's how I know my stitches aren't too tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that I've done my 7, I do my decrease. One decrease. Now I do another. And again, blankets are always hard to manage moving and turning and things like that, but you just get the hang of it. Now that I've done my decrease, I do 7 double crochets in each of the next stitches. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Now I do 2 increases, which is 3 double crochets in each stitch. It's 2 in the same stitch. It's 3 in the same stitch. On your curve here, because it's above the chain, you might need to sort of take a closer look at it so you can see it's in the stitches and there's the chain, but you can kind of just see it there. There's 1, 2, 3 in the same stitch. Again, yours will end on a partial and you won't be completing the rest, but it's there. And there's your second row of the more prominent up and down. Now to show you how to switch colors again, I'm going to use the Red Heart Super Saver in Petal Pink, which is a 4 medium worsted weight and requires the same size hook. Keep it consistent. Now, again, you can cut this and knot it, and knot this, slip stitch this on your hand like we've been doing with the X, but I prefer to just hold them with a bit of tail and just pull it through. So now you've made the color transfer, and that's 1 chain, 2. So now again into your first stitch at the base of your chain 2, which is a little blocked by that piece of thread. Yarn over, go into it, them on top, working the yarn over it, pull through, and you want to do 2 into this first stitch, and then your 7 and your 2 decreases and your 7 and 2 increases all the way to the end, which will end in an increase or partial increase. So I'm not gonna follow through with my second color. I'm just going to show you how to make the border. If you want a color change, you can do that for as few rows as you want with as many colors as you want. So now to do your border, it is single crochets. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and into each stitch you're going to do 1 single crochet, which is where you don't yarn over. You just go into your stitch, pull through both loops in the hook. You're going to do this all the way to the end of your row, making sure to keep it loose so that it doesn't pull in your... Now we're at the end of our row. This is my last stitch, which is for me Still my 46th stitch, so I know I didn't mess any of it up. And now for the other 3 sides of our project is where we're going to have to invent stitches, because none of these are full stitches. So just sort of invent them wherever you can. Now we're back to our other side, which again for you will be a whole lot bigger than my little sample. So where they come together, you might have a bit of a difficult time trying to stick your hook in and grab them at just the right angle. Sort of force your way in, but always make sure when you're pulling it back out that you're going in at the same angle, not that you catch an extra loop somewhere. Now we're back at our beginning, which we will slip stitch instead of doing 1 single crochet. It's the same, except when you pull here, and instead of yarning over and pulling through, just pull that first piece through your yarn. That's your slip stitch. Now you can cut your yarn and pull it through. Just chain 1 and cut it and pull it through so that it knots, where you will knot it like I said, and darn in that end by using your darning or tapestry needle and placing it in these V's from underneath. Again, leave a longer tail so that it's nice and secure, so that when you pull it or wash it, it doesn't come out. There's your finished project. Yours will be much longer and wider than mine, of course. But you have now learned the chevron or zigzag pattern, which is a more pronounced up and down version of the wave or ripple pattern. I know that this one is only 2 rows instead of 4, but there is a side-by-side of the patterns that some people like to call all the same pattern, but I'm choosing to call this one the wave or ripple because it's more gentle, and this one the chevron or zigzag because it is more pronounced. If you'd like to make a request, leave a comment below. Tune into my next video to learn the crocodile stitch. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Once again, this is the Crocheter of Destiny, and I'll see you in the next video.